RPA trainer, and I train people on robotic process automation. So today we have organized this seminar on with SkillUpRight, and we are going to take a introductory webinar on what is RPA and really what it is used, how it is used in companies, how is it different from traditional automation, what are things RPA can automate, and the career paths in RPA. And we will also cover few of the top tools that are there in the market. If you have any questions, I would suggest you can put that in chat, and then at the end of the session, I will take the questions and try to answer as many questions as possible. I'll be speaking about for 35 to 40 minutes, and then the remaining 20 minutes will be question answer session. So let's first start by understanding what is robotic process automation. When we think of robots, the term, we have this image that comes in the mind that is a physical robot, something, a machine doing something, right? Machine making something in factory, or a physical robot like in Terminator. That is what it comes in mind. But that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about a software robot. It is essentially an automation script. But what this does is so that you can ask the Megha. I'll be sharing my presentation with Vinod, then he can and share with you forward. Right. So what really the robot does is there are a lot of processes and organizations that are really mundane and repetitive, and that is what we try to automate, these processes, and that is what a robotic process automation is. Robotic process automation is a way by which we use computers to automate the process, right? A process that was normally done by people on computers. I wanted to imagine a person working in a BPO or a KPO. What do these people do? A simple example is somebody sends some forms from abroad, let us say US or UK, and what these guys do is they'll read the form, do some processing on it, and do the data entry into some application or some kind of website, right? Now, earlier there were BPOs and KPOs, and because labor arbitrage, labor is much more expensive in foreign countries. Let us say $8 an hour, whereas it used to be $8 a day in India. And so these simple tasks, these simple things were outsourced to India via BPOs and KPOs. Today, the same thing can also be done with help of software robots. So that is essentially what RPA is. RPA is a software program that can automate simple, mundane tasks that exist in organizations. Now, these tools are not replacement for underlying software. Rather, they simply automate already manual tasks that human beings do. So here what we do is, what is a person doing on screen? Putting data entry, doing web scraping, taking data from one place, putting in someplace else. These kind of things are automated with RPA. Now, if you look at any task we do, literally any task to do in your organization or even your personal life, it could be divided into three things or three phases. First, we collect data, we bring the data into a proper format, and so let's say you want to buy a car, right? How will you go about it? Obviously, you will go and look at different car models within your budget range, and you will note down, what are the features this model offers, right? You will look at different brands. That is you collecting data. Then you will put all these in one place to compare. Okay, I have a similar car with Maruti, also similar with Hyundai, also similar with okay, and similar with Uh, Voice is breaking in between. Guys, I'm sorry, we have a power related issue here. Uh, do you want me to repeat something that you might have missed? Okay, give me a minute. I'll check my mic. Hello. Okay. Is it better now? Okay, great. Great. So let us say, you do want to buy a car. So how you go about it is you first collect the data. You will go, you will have different, check out different models within your budget range. We'll note down all the features they are asking, warranty they are asking, mileage and everything. That is you collecting the data. Then you will put it all in one place to compare which is, which is the car that is giving you maximum value for money. Right? That is your data being into proper format. And then you will make a decision. Now collecting data for any task takes 70% of time and bringing in the format takes 20% time. And only doing decision making takes only 10% time. So what we do now, the organizations are trying to do is automate these two parts of the process. So think of a share broker, right? Who wants to see how his share has performed the previous day, right? Now he has to obviously go to different websites like NSTL or different broking websites, get how much trading has already happened, what is his open or closed positions and something like that the previous day. And then he will say, okay, based on that, I will take the decision. So here we can use the robot to do collection of data and bring it in format and have the report, email to him before he even comes to office. And then he can do one task that generates a maximum value. Right now, we already had automation. So automation is not something new. We had automation previously in Excel also using macros. We have APIs. APIs are application programming interfaces, right? For those of you who are not familiar with API is a digital equivalent of a postman, right? So that is also one way to automate things. So what is so different about the RPA, right? What is so great about it, that why is everybody doing the RPA? So I will just explain what is RPA, what is API, and what is the main difference. So like I said, API is like a digital postman. Imagine there are two different softwares that want to exchange the information, right? But they don't trust each other. I don't know you, you don't know me, but we want to exchange information. So what we do is we trust API. API is a software in the middle, acts like a digital postman. So we trust him. We trust the API. I will give my data to API. API will put in the format, whatever the format it is to be in, and it will deliver it to the different application. Right? That way, both of these entities are secure. But there's a problem with the API. Two things. First of all, it is very costly to create an API. Second, for API to work with the software, you have to modify the code of the software. That means software 1 will also have to modify the code to work with the API. Software 2 will also have to modify its code to work with the API. Right? So that is the issue. Now, here comes the RPA. Thing about RPA is slower than the API, marginally slower, you can say, but it can do the data and like read the data from the front end. It does not need to connect to the back end of the application. Just like you as a human being go open your email, RPA can do exactly the same way a human being does. Advantage of that is you don't need to change the code of this application, and that means you can implement RPA faster also. And since RPA is not changing the code of application, it is much more cheaper also, right? So it is like a stopgap arrangement. A proper way should be API, but RPA kind of acts as a stopgap arrangement, allows two applications to talk to each other, exchange the data. That is what RPA does. Second great thing about the RPA is RPA can handle multiple type of applications. It can handle web applications. It can handle Windows-based application. It can handle server-based application. Only one tool handling multiple applications, right? So no need to have multiple tools, no need to integrate multiple tools together, only one tool can handle everything. And that is what is a great thing about RP. Very cheap, cheaper than the API, but much more faster than human being. And does not require code changes to underlying application. Now, let's talk about, okay. Let's talk about the benefit of RPA. So benefit, like I first said, no need to change the code of the existing system. So RPA is much simpler to implement, right? But with this, we also have some limitations with the RPA also, right? First thing, RPA cannot deal with unstructured data. So data that has to be exchanged has to be in structured format, right? And RPA cannot handle exceptions, errors, right? So if even small thing changes from one place to another, for example, there is a button here, this button moves from here to here, RPA will fail. So RPA needs everything perfect. Data should not change, the data format should not change, the interface of the application should also not change. And let's now look at how and in what way RPA help companies. So what happens is, in companies, there are a lot of jobs which are mundane. Like for example, generating your salary slip via attendance and tax computation and all those things, right? Or let us say you are a retail store, you have a lot of retail stores, right? Each store, a human being needs to log into the machine, copy some data, put it into HRMS system. 50 stores are there. So earlier what used to happen, one HR, only one job, log into the system, copy data from that store, put it into HRMS. Repeat for 50 stores every day, right? Boring job, right? No, absolutely no learning in this job. So these are the kind of things RPA can do. RPA is very good at moving data from one place to another place, doing rule-based tasks, right? So let us look at the advantages. First of all, increase productivity and efficiency. So first, unlike a human being, which can only work 8 hours a day, RPA can work 24/7. So one robot equal to 3 people. Second, efficiency. This is a copy paste job, right? Even in one Excel sheet, 25 rows of data, 1 million rows of 25 columns, 1 million rows of data. Human being might make a mistake, right? But RP will never make mistake in copy paste kind of a thing. So efficiency and productivity. Also increase accuracy, very accurate, never makes a mistake in any kind of job. Then cost saving. So manual labor, in these kind of jobs, repetitive jobs, BPO kind of jobs, people come, people work for 1 or 2 years, then they leave. So there's a cost to organization, right? Now, what happens is, somebody is leaving, HR needs to replace him, then new person comes, he needs to be trained, he will take 3 months to be productive, then he will work for 1 year, then he will leave. So we automate the tasks using RPA robots. Now, no need to do the training and everything. RPA can handle everything. RPA can do the work of 3 people also. It can work 24/7. It will not take holidays. So a large amount of cost saving. Typically, RPA robot replaces 3 people in any organization, one single robot. Similarly, with compliance, a lot of companies, there are compliance reports that need to be generated or compliance related tasks that needs to be generated. These are all cost centers. They don't bring in any profit, but you need to do because government rule is there, compliance is there. In these cases, we do these tasks with robotic process automation, right? So we can reduce our cost also, and we can save on manpower also. So people can do some better job, some job which requires their analytical skills, their creativity. Then scalability. You have today 500 requests coming in a day. Tomorrow, if it increases to 1,000, or in next few months it is increasing to 1,000, it will take you some time to onboard a new employee in the organization or get a new human being to it. RP robots, you can just copy it. It's just software. It's just code, right? So RP robots, you can just copy paste, put a new RP robot in 10 minutes and scale it. No problem. So with RP robots, process scalability is also very, very high, right? If your volume increase, just put more robots. No need to train them because they are exact copy of the robot that is already running, right? Tomorrow, if your volume goes down again, no need to fire employees, just shut down one robot or deploy the robot into some other process. Also, better customer service, you bring down the time. So you must all have sometime use the chatbot, maybe in Swiggy, maybe in Zomato, maybe to book the ticket, right? Limited response, but you can use chatbot any point of time, day, night, evening, whatever, right? So it is a program responding to your queries, and your queries, at least small queries, get solved immediately. So as a customer, you also feel better. So you have a better customer service with RP and improved employee satisfaction. Lastly, with RP in place, employees move to higher value tasks, tasks which requires their analytical thinking, their creativity, right? So that way, they are also much more satisfied. They don't have to do the donkey's work, right? Otherwise, what happens is in lot of companies, in lot of projects, what I've seen is half of things are reporting, and employees don't like doing that. Yes, RPA bot, RPA robot, they are the same thing. Okay. So even chatbots are basically RPA bots, Sharmishta. It's their type of RPA bot only. But chatbots are more specific purposes, like they interact with people. Most RPA bots, they don't interact with people, right? They do some processes in the back end, right? And they act as service in the organization. Okay. So let us look at the kind of tasks that normally get automated. Things like filling forms, emailing multiple people, emailing multiple customers, same mail, marketing campaigns, scrapping data from web. So let us say, okay, same question. So let us say Vodafone Vodafone company marketing people, they have to keep a tab on which plans Airtel is launching, right? So one person sitting there, his only job, go to Airtel website every day, look at new plans being launched, look at the circles. So there are 26 circles, 26 states. Each state has different plans, and each state has at least 20 plans, right? So 26 into 20, that many plans are there, right? And one guy tracking just the plans. What he does, goes to the website of Airtel, copy paste the plans in Excel sheet, sends this to manager, maybe every week, maybe every month, so that they can also launch similar plans, right? Same thing RP can do. Okay. Is RPA part of AI? Okay, RPA and AI are different thing, guys. Okay, RPA deals with structured data. Structured data means, let us say there's a form coming in, name, age, gender, right? So what RPA expects is all the time information will come in same format, name, age, gender. If the fields goes up and down, RPA will not be able to deal. AI is more about finding patterns in a data, right? So I can give a large data Excel sheet to AI, and AI would say, okay, based on this Excel sheet, I am doing analysis of what are your biggest customers are, or which customers buys the maximum amount of product, or which customers buy the minimum of product. So these are two different things. AI is different, RPA is different. But in companies, a lot of times these two things are okay. I'm coming to that. So in companies, a lot of times RPA and AI are used together. There is a difference. So same thing can no, AI has a different purpose. AI is for analysis of something, right? RPA is for doing manual, repetitive work, copy paste kind of work. Okay, so different things, different focus. So I hope Sadhna I was able to answer that. Right, thanks. Mayur, you said you could. You're not getting the context. Can you just type for me which question? Just type here. Can AI implement it in RPA? Sharmishta? Okay. Okay, I'll just say. I'll just take these questions and no problem. Okay, okay. Let's just take a pause, guys. I will take these questions one by one. Can we call Selenium is RPA? Selenium is a test automation tool. It was used as a RPA tool also with Jugaad, but it is not a proper RPA tool. Although companies had been using Selenium for RPA process also before modern RPA tools came into picture. Can AI be implemented in RPA? Yes, AI and RPA can be implemented together to work. Where does RPA fit in when it comes to citizen development? So citizen developers is basically, I will tell you guys, this is a kind of a marketing term because frankly, a proper developer has to do a lot more than citizen developer. Okay, citizen developer, the concept was no need to get the developers. Your business people can do their own programming. Trust me, and I'm saying this with actual experience. We tried, it failed miserably. And what happened was, then the actual programmers had to come in at the end and repair the damage done by citizen developers. Does not work. It's more of a marketing hype. Yeah, I'll just take questions as and when they come. Okay. So what can we automate? Simple things like filling forms, logging in, downloading reports, then emailing those reports, copy paste kind of thing. Rule-based things, dealing with structure. This is very important. The RPA cannot deal with unstructured data. Data has to be structured in a proper format. Same format every time. Can we invoke APIs using RPA? Yes. We can import the APIs within RPA and then invoke them. Languages in RPA. Okay, so you can do RPA with Python also. Python is language, but most RPAs are used with tools, right? So let's come to that. Let's move on to the tools of RPA. Now, let us look at the career path in RPA. Lot of people have this misconception that only technical people can get into RPA. That is not true at all, right? Even those people, non-technical people can get into RPA, but not in developer role. So let us look at the roles available in RPA. So first one is the obvious RPA developer. This is a person who learns a tool like Blue Prism, UiPath, or Automation Anywhere, and then using these tools, create the automation or do the process automation. Second person is RPA business analyst. RPA business analyst is a non-technical person, and his role is to find out which process is to be automated. See, developer, you give him the documentation, he will develop the program. But which process to automate? And if I automated that process, will it give me the ROI? I'm going to spend some money, right? Automating a process. I'll be spending on license fees, implementation fees, everything. Will I get my ROI? So this is a non-technical person who advises the companies on which processes should be automated. So, Rahul, extensions are a type of RPA only. And yes, you can develop these kind of things within the RPA tool also. Right. So RPA business analyst is the person who advises the clients on which process to be automated and which process should not be automated. So not all processes are good candidate for automation. Remember that. So it is an RPA BA is a totally management role. It does not involve any kind of technical development or anything. Purely management role. Then hi Vinod.
Hi, Vinamaya.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, Vinamaya, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you go to the career slide? Yeah, just go to the career slide. Okay, just hold on a sec. Okay, is voice okay now, Vinod?
Yes, yes. Now okay.
Okay, great.
Oh,
So yeah, we were talking about RPA business analyst.
So RPA business analyst is a non-technical role, and for those of you who are not technical people, they can actually learn to be an RPA business analyst. So the course content for RPA developer and RPA BA will be totally different. RPA developer, totally technical course content, and RPA analyst is functional. It does not involve any technical. RPA analyst is not bothered about how technically automation is done. What he looks at is, okay, we are going to do automation, how much will it cost? Right? How much it will cost? Will I get some benefits out of it if I'm going to spend money on automation? Which processes to be automated first? So if I give you 10 list of 10 processes that to be automated, which one will you do first? Which one will you do second? How will you manage them? That is done by RPA business analyst. So non-technical role, still you can work in RPA, advising companies, advising management on which tools to be used, which implementation methodologies to be used, and which processes to select for automation. Next slide, please. Life cycle of RPA. Okay, we will do it at the end. Vinod, can you go to next slide, please? Okay. So RPA tools in the market. I will just go to now. There are actually total of 54 different tools in the market, but for today's session, we are only covering 4 major ones. Next slide, please. So first is UiPath. UiPath is a #1 RPA tool in the market. Okay. Most of the companies use UiPath tool. It is easy to learn, right? It is easy to automate the processes using UiPath. It is very user friendly, right? And good capabilities. And it has a large community of developers. Now, this is very important for companies because large community of developers means tool is stable. No company wants to implement a tool where there are very few developers. Why? Because first of all, few developers, you have to give them much more salary. Second, even if you give them salary, they go somewhere else, then there's nobody to support your implementations. So that is important for companies. Okay. Strength for UiPath is it's very user friendly. Even non-technical users to a certain extent can create automation on it. It has large community of developers to share the knowledge and resources, and a lot of integrations with popular ERP and CRM like SAP. But it has a high license cost. Now, license cost for a tool like UiPath is in the range of 3.5 to 5 lakhs. And to learn it, you at least need to have the basic concepts of programming knowledge to create complete workflow. So you can implement simple tasks, but where there's a task is even a little bit of complexity, there you will need to have some knowledge of programming. And it is not very good for high volume of data. Next. Then we have Blue Prism. This tool, this is the first tool. This is a tool that actually coined the word RPA. They were the first in the field of RPA. Now, Blue Prism is a very, very easy to learn tool. Even non-technical people, I can tell you, learn it. I am non-technical. I know how to do Blue Prism. So very, very simple to learn. Right? It's just you have to make a flow chart of the process. That's all. And all the multinational companies use this tool because of 2 reasons. First of all, it has very good audit capabilities. Everything you do with the Blue Prism tool can be audited. Second, it can deal with a huge amount of data. Doesn't matter 1 lakh rows of data, 2 lakh, 10 lakh rows of data. Blue Prism tool will not crash. But with this tool, there are 2 weak points. First of all, is this price. License cost of Blue Prism is very high. It's a range of 6 to 10 lakhs, depending upon what you are buying. Next slide, please. Second, it is not good because of this. It is not good for smaller companies. And okay, guys, this is not about please. This seminar is for people who are new to RPA. If you are looking for job and these kind of things, this is not the correct forum to ask. Second thing is, it does not have much of a market share. Like Blue Prism, only multinational companies or big companies use it because only they can afford it. So that is that. So if you look at Blue Prism, if you want to learn Blue Prism, thing with Blue Prism is the number of job openings are lesser compared to UiPath, but they pay more. Right. So if you want to learn, if you are okay finding a job, it will take some time, but it will pay more, then maybe you can go for Blue Prism. Okay, next. Then we have Automation Anywhere. In the market, it comes at on third number, right? It is also a very popular tool. A lot of companies are using it. It also has user-friendly interface, but okay, next slide, please. But two things about Automation Anywhere. First of all, it is also a bit expensive. And second of all, it does not work with a lot of programs. Clarita, lot of companies also use multiple tools. Okay, so I know companies that also use Blue Prism, also use UiPath. Some companies have only one vendor. If you look at certain banks, they will only use UiPath. If you look at, for example, Deutsche Bank only Blue Prism, right? So basically, a simple way to find this out, what you're asking is go to naukri.com, type the name of a tool, you see the job listing, you will come to know which company is using which tool. Simple. Okay, so with Automation Anywhere, good thing is it has something AI built in, right? So that means if something changes in the process also, something changes in the workflow also, it will automatically able to adjust. But again, it is expensive tool and it cannot connect with all the programs or all the different softwares. So Blue Prism can always connect with any kind of ERP, CRM software, same with UiPath. But with the Automation Anywhere, that is not the case. Also, with the huge volume of data, it has performance related issues. Next. Then we have Power Automate. Power Automate is actually by Microsoft. Now, what Microsoft has done is Microsoft basically has started giving this tool free to companies just to increase its market presence, right? Because of this, a lot of companies have started using Power Automate. Now, what happens is a lot of companies already use Microsoft products like, Microsoft Word, Excel, SharePoint, and these kind of things. So Microsoft, what they have done is they have made the integration native with the other Microsoft products, right? And this Power Automate is very easy to use, easy to implement also, but it has a problem. Its weakness is it does not work so well with non-Microsoft products. That is one thing. Second, you have to use the ready-made components to make your process. So if for the application that you want to automate, the component is not present, you cannot create your own component. You cannot create your own custom component. Whereas in UiPath and Blue Prism and even Automation Anywhere, you can create custom components. So that is like the weakness of like this Microsoft Power Automate. But these are the 4 most popular tools in the market. If you want to be a developer, choose only from these 4 tools, because these 4 tools is what they have future in the market. The smaller tools, sooner or later, they will either close down or they will consolidate and sell it to the bigger companies. These are the like 4 big companies. Microsoft is there. There's a huge demand for Power Automate developers. There's also huge demand from UiPath developers. Blue Prism, not so much. But wherever you can go as a Blue Prism, you will get much more salary than a Power Automate guy or a UiPath guy. and automation anywhere has some demand, not as much as Blue Prism, UiPath, and Power Automate, but still some demand. Some demand is there. Some companies are using it. So if you want to become a developer, choose from one of these tools. Second thing is, once you learn one of the tools, most of these tools work in a similar way only. So you can on your own also understand the other tools. But very important thing to remember, guys, is don't try to learn two tools at once. Okay, you will get confused. Now again, I'm saying this with some amount of my own experience. Now, if you don't want to get into technical, you want to become an RPA business analyst or RPA project manager, then you don't need to go in technical at all. RPA BA or RPA project manager does not need to understand coding at all. They are least bothered. Okay, what these guys do is, okay, RPA BA, I have 10 processes customer is giving to me. Fine, I will advise the customer on which process to automate that will give the best return on investment. That's all. Sounds simple, but to do that, you have to be trained in a specific way to deal with RP tools. But that training is not technical. It is purely management techniques. So if you are technical, what I'll say is go into RP development. If you're not technical, go for something like RPA business analyst course or RPA project management course. Okay, okay, now we can take questions. Okay, life cycle of RPA. So life cycle of RPA is basically a mash of agile and waterfall model. Initially, we do analysis. We analyze which processes to automate. Then we prepare the documentation. Then we do coding and testing in same phase, and then finally post to production. Any other question? Okay. Okay, guys, take a minute to type your questions. I will take a minute of a break, and then I will read out all the questions and answer. Okay, so Shahid, you are asking future proof in RPA. Yes, I will tell you why it is future proof. See, all these companies have implemented RPA bots, right? And now somebody need to babysit these bots because process don't stay constant. Okay, process will change. If process change, you will have to change the workflow in the bot also. So there will be going to be work for next 10 years in RPA. After 10 years, nobody has seen the future. What is the best RPA tool for ServiceNow and Jira? Asked by Ram Prasad. Ram, there's no such thing as best RPA tool. Okay, all RPA tools offer components to integrate with the ServiceNow and Jira. These are very common softwares. ServiceNow and Jira, they're in all big companies, so they are ready-made components in Blue Prism also, UiPath also. And automation anywhere also. So you can use any of the tools. Want to automate APIs? Where to start? See, if your APIs themselves are automation, anonymous attendee, and you can call API within the RPA also. So that question is kind of redundant because API themselves are automation. Now we use RPA where we cannot use APIs. So it is an interesting question. I will also answer that. See, what happens is for API for you to use API, you must have the permission of both the parties. Let us say there are two softwares. One is owned by me, one is owned by somebody else. Now, if I want an API, I need other person's permission also, right? But with RPA, I don't need this permission. Why? Because I am accessing the interface from the front end only. I am not changing anything to code. So RPA itself is used where we cannot use API. Okay, Akhilesh, think about this. To implement API, very simply put, to implement API, you have to change the code of the software. So the code software must speak to API, and then this API will speak to the second software. And in that way, it will act as a digital postman between two different softwares. With RPA, RPA will also act as a digital postman, but it does not need to change the code. Why? Because you are working in the same way as a human being is working. Let me take an example. Okay. So let us say I am working in a BPO, or I am an owner of BPO KPO, and I do the copy paste kind of a job. My BPO KPO does a copy paste kind of job for some American company. I go and tell them, boss, I will want to automate. Let's make an API. They will say, no, Tata, bye bye. Our laws do not allow you touching our database. There's privacy policies. There's European Union privacy policies, the American privacy policies. So you will have to use our website or front end of the application only. But with RPA, I can do automation using the front end of the application also. So I hope that makes it clear. Shweta Kumari. Any programming language we can add to our skills as UiPath developers? Python is a good, and C# or .NET are also good. So basically, most of the automation tools are written based on .NET architecture. So if you want to add your skills, you either add Python or .NET. Intelligent process automation, hyperautomation are more advanced than RPA and RPA. No. Okay, I'll tell you this. Intelligent process automation, hyper automation are versions of RPA only. So basically, these are more of a marketing words. Customers say, we want more money from customers, so we have to show them some glamour. So these are really some marketing words. We just use with customers to get more money out of them. Yes, Karthik, I have worked on Automation Edge also. So what do you want to know about it? Can you be more specific? Kumar is saying, how can we identify any application tool is fit to automate or not? Kumar, we don't look at application or tool for automation. We look at process. So we ask ourselves the question, is the process fit for automation? Any application tool can be automated. That is not an issue. Is the process fit for automation? That is a question to be asked. And that is what we cover in RPA Business Analyst course. RPA developers using Python to do the code also? Yes. Python also has a library, Mohammed, to automate to automate the things. So yes, you can do RPA automation in Python also. Can Amulya, I teach RPA business analyst and project management courses also. So if you want to do it, just get in touch with SkillUp, and they will tell you if there are enough candidates. They will start the course, I guess. Open source RP tool, which is popular. I'm sorry, that is a different topic. There are open source RP tools also very similar to UiPath, but I don't remember the names right now. Just can you get in touch with me later, and I will send a list to you. Okay. Let's see. Can we implement RPA into typical government sector? Okay, I will tell you. In government, yes, we can use RPA, and as you are saying, certainly the data is unstructured. That is a problem for us. But we can use RPA along with AI too. So basically, what AI will do is AI will take unstructured data and make into a structured format. Then we can use RPA with that. I hope that answers your question. Karthik, when you are asking which is the best, can you tell me on which basis you want to call a tool a best? Do you mean which is the best tool to learn in terms of career, or which is the best one to use? So UiPath has a lot of job opportunities. Okay, no doubt about it. Far more roles are open for that. Automation Edge is a very cheap tool. So I worked on Automation Edge, and I'll tell you its license cost is just 1 lakh rupees. It is not as sophisticated as UiPath, but because of the lower license cost, specifically HDFC Bank uses Automation Edge. Automation Edge, people don't know, it was an internal tool of HDFC Bank, their vendor, right? HDFC was their first customer. And then after implementing Automation Edge in HDFC for 5 years, now they have developed their product very well, and now they are going for other customers. Okay, to work with UiPath is better, Karthik, I guess. Okay, any more questions? 16 questions. One more question is coming. Okay. Any open sources or websites to get basic knowledge on product management analyst? Amulya, do one thing. If you want this thing, you can go to the website of UiPath. They have a UiPath RPA business analyst course. You can do that. But I will tell you this also. That is a very, very basic course. It's an e-learning kind of course. You watch videos, there are some quiz, and that is fine, but there will not be anybody to answer your questions, or there will not be anybody to tell you how things are done in real life. What happens with these online courses, Amulya, is they just explain the concepts in a very simplified way. They don't tell how things are done in real life. Like anybody, like a trainer like me, if you take training from a trainer like me, for example, I'll explain, okay, this is a tool, this was a real life scenario, these are challenges we faced, this is how we overcome the challenges, right? So those things are missing in those courses. But a good point to start for a RPA business analyst course, if you are interested, is UiPath Academy. UiPath Academy website, you can Google it and you can go there and get started, I guess. Okay, guys, I think these are all the questions here. We have like 5 minutes. If anybody wants to add any more question, I think I guess you can. Otherwise, we can like call it a day if you are okay with that. Hello. Yeah. So any more questions are coming up, or you can see. Or okay, I guess these are all the questions for today. Thank you. Okay, hold on. We have some. Sushant Mishra. Is RPA support image processing? Sushant, I don't understand your question, but I will tell you RPA RPA does use something called OCR. OCR stands for optical character recognition. That is, taking the image and converting to text. And that is normally used in a lot of places. All right, guys, thank you for giving me opportunity to do this session. I'll be in touch with you if you guys need anything. And thank you for all the participants for being such a good audience. Yeah, that's all.
Bye, Abhinav. Thank you.
Okay, Shweta, what suggestions do you want? I mean, if you are RPA developer, 4 year experience, then there's a lot of demand in the market for you. So I'm not sure what you are asking for. If you're looking for a job, like Naukri.com has a lot of openings, then all they ask is, can you join in 30 days? They will take you. All right, all right. I think we can end the session now. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.